So Christmas is officially coming, so for you beatmakers, producers, songwriters and artists, you might be wanting to know how to compose a Christmas pop type production. Well, this video is here to help you with that. This morning I've created a Christmas pop instrumental for my beat store, and as always with these videos on the channel, I'm going to break it down for you how I made it in the order everything was added, so you get the best idea of how I composed it step by step. Any plugin I use in this video I will link in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself afterwards. Now, with that all said, I just want to give a quick word from the sponsor of the video, which is me. To be able to make music on a consistent basis, you need to have that first source of inspiration to build your tracks around. And for the longest time, I've been wanting to create a resource for producers of all levels that could help you find that first source of inspiration, give you endless possibilities and ideas of directions you can take your projects. And with that all in mind, I've dedicated the last year to creating that resource. It is the Ultimate Pop Producer Bundle. This is the pack right here. As you can see, there is endless ideas and inspiration for your music in a variety of instrumentations, keys, BPM. This is a pack I even dive into to use as inspiration for my own beats, and I'm now passing it on to you. If you want to learn more about the Ultimate Pop Producer Bundle, click the link below or in my bio. Visit samplesbyjoegautry.com and check out the Ultimate Pop Producer Bundle. So now I'm done self-endorsing myself, let's get into breaking down this beat. So for this beat today, as you can see, we're in Logic Pro X as with all these videos, and we actually started today with a drum beat. Drum beat I felt would be the first way because I decided I wanted a certain vibe and a certain swing and bounce to this Christmas pop instrumental, so I thought, well, if I want a certain swing, that comes from the rhythm section, so I thought I'm going to start with the drums today. And the kit today, we are just using the drum kit, and we're using this one right here. It's the Logic preset, and I just created this drum pattern. Now in the verses, you can hear the only variation is we do not have the crashes. Okay, when it comes to mixing, now, the only things I've done in terms of mixing is the channel EQ, I've given a low boost and a high boost as well. Now, when it comes to mixing the hi-hats and the crashes, I've put a sample delay on the crashes and the hi-hats to give them a bit more of a stereo spread in the mix. The hi-hats have a stereo delay to the... oh, they're both the same this time. Never mind. Normally, I would do them the opposite way around. I'm actually just going to change that. So there's a slight bias for the hi-hats on the left and the crashes on the right, but they still got that stereo spread. So the drums have a nice space in the production. I love using sample delays, and for those who watch my YouTube videos a lot, you will know I love a sample delay, and it's a really good way to mix. And then I thought, okay, now I've added the drums, the next thing to add is the piano, and I wanted the piano to sound happy, so the first thing was to select an upright piano. So Logic does have upright pianos, but I used the Gentleman. And I love this piano. I use it a lot, and I think this was the Sparkle preset in the Gentleman, if I'm trying to be very specific with you. And I layered that up with another piano which is doing kind of like this one is more the higher notes, this one is more mid. I'll play you them separately so you can hear the difference. And then this one is again different. And together. Now this is the first time I had to make a decision about the chords. I wanted the chorus to be kind of like longer with two sections to it. So the first section you can see is cut out and is spread amongst the verses as the main chords, which is basically just C major. It's C, F, G, C, G, F, or the other way around actually. But then in the second part of the chorus, we have a complete change to the chords. So just have a listen to the whole chord section here, because this is how like I decided to create the development for the chorus to make it sound more interesting throughout. So that's C, G, F. Then we go C, F, G. And then we go to F. F to G. Then it goes C, E minor, A minor, F, G. So again, like, it could be a 4-chord song, but with Christmas songs, there's always seems to be this development and a second part to chorus. Listen to any Christmas song as a reference track. The chorus is very interesting because there's always a lift. So I always like to try and add a lift partway through the chorus. So that's why I decided to change the chords up this time. And then on top of that, then it was just time to kind of start adding to the rhythm section a bit more. So I added this bass line, which I didn't quantize this time, because every time I tried to quantize it, it just wasn't feeling like it was having that swing to it. So this is all just like MIDI straight in. And it's trying to complement the swing of the drums. So when you add it all together, it's got this real nice like swing slash bounce to it. And it's slightly off time, but I quite like that because it gives it a little bit of a live feel, because we're always looking to try and add humanistic qualities to production, especially when we're using a lot of MIDI and we can quantize stuff. Now, a lot of old Christmas songs, obviously a lot of them actually would have been recorded live or on sort of like 16-track recorders, so it's really nice sometimes to add that humanistic feel to it. So a slightly off-time bass note, I'm all for it because it adds that nice little bit of humanistic value to it. Now next we add in some acoustic guitar. At this point I'm just trying to add some different layers. Acoustic guitar is kind of like the bread and butter in Christmas pop songs. Like, you just really subtly chuck them into the background and it just adds some nice liveliness to a track. So that's it there, just playing the power chords. And for those of you wondering what we're using Strummed Acoustic 2, we're using the power chords 1A, and for playback I have basically turned the swing up to 100%, just to add that really nice swing. And then for mixing I just added a low and a high boost, because sometimes with native instruments, like the guitars sound really good out the tin, but sometimes it's good just to add that little bit extra, you know what I mean? Now, for the next ideas, now this is kind of where you can go whatever direction you want at this point. I went for Mellotron flutes first, because I just love Mellotron flutes. And it just adds this really nice, delicate, eerie texture. And it's just playing the chords, copying the piano basically. And then after that, it's trying to start adding real Christmassy feeling stuff. So the first thing I added was cathedral bells. This is in Sculpture. I did turn down the sustain because everything was all the way up on this in the preset for the cathedral bells, which you can find in Logic. So I just turned the sustain down and the release down, just so it wasn't as intense, because if you listen to this just from the straight preset, it's a little bit tense, it's a little bit long. So this just adds a little bit of a Christmassy sound. Again, just like fluttering in the background. And for the first time, it really starts to sound like a Christmas track. Okay, so now we want to start thinking about sort of like the more sound qualities, adding them little extra details which would make it feel a lot more Christmassy. And I first found these sparkles. Very Christmassy, almost like Christmas bells. And then I also found a Christmas bell. For those who are wondering, these are all samples which are taken from the Splice. So again, just two ideas I added. Then I also found a sleigh bell, which I chopped up and put into time. So you can see by digging into Splice, I found a lot of little details, bells and stuff, which just really add to that Christmassy feel. If I was to play without and with, you'll hear there's a massive difference to the feel of this track. So this is without, now let's go with. Again, Christmassy, absolutely love it, all here for it. And then I add the Airways pad in next, because the chorus is just missing that little extra lift. So the Airways pad, you've probably seen this one a lot. I use this a lot in videos. So the Airways pad is a preset in Logic. And it just adds something in the high end just to tie the track together. And you don't want to overcomplicate it, because you've got to remember there is still a vocal which is going to be over the top of this as well. So with that all considered, I kind of now starting to think about the structure of what I want to do here. And there's two things I love to have in Christmas songs. One is a saxophone solo. The other one is a key change. So the first thing, the saxophone solo, I've literally just gone into Logic and found saxophone, and I've used the ROM reverb to basically create this little sax solo. Just literally just playing around with the key. Now, you might be saying, that sounds really MIDI, but the thing about Christmas songs, which I really love, is kind of the corniness of them. So I really do not mind the fact that it's MIDI, and it's a little bit offensive sounding on that part, because I just feel like that kind of ties into the whole the Christmas feel, where like it's kind of like it's cheesy, but it's okay, like it's fine, because, you know, Christmas, it's a very, like, it is what it is time of year, and I feel like the songs can be a bit corny and a bit cheesy for any time of year, but at Christmas it's fine, because it's just all about being, you know, jolly and happy and all that. And then with the key change, I've literally just pitched up everything by one semitone. I gave the drums a break here just to help with the transition between the keys, as you can hear here. And who doesn't love a key change? It's just so easy to do a lot of the time, and it just really just adds that final lift to the song before it ends. So yeah, guys, that was my Christmas pop instrumental that I made. Hopefully this video helped you in understanding how to build a Christmas pop beat for yourself, and if it did, smash the subscribe button and like this video, and also comment below any requests you've got for future videos and future beat breakdowns. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep making music, and I will see you in the next video.